With us being back then, there was a cat. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kitty cat colors. I have a black cat. It could be a tiger-colored tabby.
Okay.
It could be pink. Or it could be purple.
Sure.
I vote Espion.
What was the first one?
First one.
Black cat? Sure.
Okay.
It appeared to be a black cat. Now, I mean, ultimately, it's dark, and dark vision doesn't really give you good color, but it was certainly a very dark cat that dashed out into the street at night and made its way up the street and kind of around the corner.
I'm just making my way down the street cautiously.
Okay.
Making our way downtown.
You are, really.
Sure.
Are there any other buffs or considerations or cautions?
I really don't have any more spells. No, yeah, I've got my hand on my rapier just in case.
Okay.
Fluffy, I don't hear you.
Yeah, my other buffs don't last as long, so I'm not casting them yet.
Gotcha. Okay. As you are walking, you're walking around, you're seeing more evidence of just things are out of place, things are odd. You know, you saw the door that was lying in the street here, and as you continue walking up this street, you do see where there are some lights on in the house up here, and there's even an empty door frame. However, there are two creatures that are standing in front of the door that are just watching. Are they
medium creatures? Small creatures?
No, they're small. But they're there, and they're watching you pass.
Are they cat-like?
They are not cat-like, no.
Maybe they're gnomes.
They could be gnomes if they're polymorphed. So I guess anything could be a gnome if you think about it. They're not moving as you're approaching. They're watching intently. The moon and the low light is kind of making their eyes give that kind of greenish shimmer off their retinas. They appear to be foxes.
It's weird for foxes to be in town, isn't it?
I mean, we
Well,
know them.
normal-colored foxes.
It's a little bit more rural in this outskirt area of the town. Everything is kept very natural here. A lot of gardens and such. So if you get into the middle of Greenshield, yeah, you're probably not going to find a lot of that. But here, well, wouldn't they be Umbreons because it's nighttime?
I'm gonna look over to Jade.
I don't have
You
it.
have that magic sense, right?
Well, I guess that's one way to put it.
Is your magic sense tingling?
If that's what you think is happening, or are you simply just asking if something around us might end up containing magic?
The latter, but yes.
Jade looks around.
Okay. Your eyes do the thing.
Is there anything magical in the presence?
Yes, the two foxes are glowing with transmutation magic.
Yes, they, those two, right there, they are dancing transformed.
Good to know.
Okay. So we know that, we had Jack with us for a little while, and then Celine's just dispelled Jack's, and I don't know if that, leaked on or what, but, these could be like him.
Could be.
Or maybe someone just turn something into a fox for fun.
I mean, we were debating about polymorph spells.
Hmm.
You can turn into fox with polymorph. Anything, any person of our skill could turn into a fox.
Maybe. I mean, I practiced that spell for a while, but I didn't end up learning it.
Neither did I. We keep walking if they're not going to bother us.
They
Just keep.
they're
I keep
watch
an
they're
eye on them
actively
for a minute.
watching, but they haven't moved closer or away
So
from
what
you.
is it that they're standing in front of?
An open doorway to a house that's slightly raised on a little hill.
Can we see through the doorway?
There's not much to see, as it looks like a little foyer. You'd have to get up really close to the house to look inside of it.
How far are we from them?
Like 40 feet away. If you're standing in the road, they're just up a little path, standing in front of this other cottage.
Nobody's curious? I'm curious.
I'm curious, but I'm looking for the kitty.
I'm pensive.
Okay, well, I'm gonna walk over to the foxes.
I'll walk with her.
Okay.
Also, Piggy Sue is here.
You begin to approach them, and they dash inside the house.
We're not going to hurt you.
No reply.
I mean, we can't really promise that.
I mean, true, but why lead with that? You don't lead with that, right?
To be fair, perhaps jumping to that conclusion is the safer route.
I mean, it's okay. We might not hurt you. Isn't that? I mean, it's more true.
That's more true, but you don't say those things. You gotta...
Whatever you do, don't
Why
make
do you guys hurt
hungry.
foxes? You guys are really mean.
No, we wouldn't hurt. I mean, they're obviously
I
not real
wouldn't hurt a
foxes.
fox.
I would never hurt a real fox.
Like I said, it's fine to deal with the foxes. Just don't make the squirrels angry.
Yeah.
The squirrels?
Don't talk about the squirrels. They know.
Squirrels are everywhere.
They can hear you.
Okay. So I'm gonna let Piggy Sue flutter on up to the door.
Okay. Our daring summon or daring familiar flies up to the doorway. It's dark inside. Do you want her to go in?
Does she have dark vision?
Mm,
I mean,
You can throw a dancing light in there.
yeah, that would be real nice.
you could,
Mm.
if you'd like.
Yeah. Oh, she does. She has 30 feet of dark vision.
Sure. All right then.
Oh, that's fine then.
She looks inside, and it's there's nothing obvious. There's nothing moving around. They've fled. They've hidden, or they're in the rafters waiting.
She can come back.
Okay.
All right.
They can't be. They can't be in the rafters waiting. That's my home.
No bye. If they don't want
Okay.
to talk to us, then we move on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna force anything. I just thought they might be guarding it, or well, we'll leave then.
Is there missing portions of the roof and things like that from this house too?
This one just seems to have the door. The door is off, and the door is probably like 100 feet away here, as opposed to being on the hinges back here.
Like it had been blown from that direction?
Something moved it. There is a little bit of trauma to. There's a little bit of trauma to the hinges of the door.
Like it had been ripped off.
Yeah, ripped off and I guess
What can I say,
carried
no?
or something. But it's not like there's a big like impact in the middle of the door, like someone just like punched or kicked it with some sort of like supernatural strength. Something ripped it off and carried, or something to get it over here.
Well, is this looking more and more like a trap to any of you?
No, I think these are probably scavengers. I don't think they're responsible. I think maybe something came through here, whether it could be Fae or maybe something like gnolls even. I don't know. But I don't think they're responsible. They don't seem very harsh, very unpleasant. Afraid.
Guess we keep going then.
Okay. I'm afraid that we're probably not going to find a bustling, happy, tumbled wench here. But we'll find out. Jade
Maybe
can
towards
show
the
us
center
way.
of town.
Okay.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty.
Center of town. In the
Um,
center of town. Is that what you just said?
I mean, I would assume that's where the busiest marketplaces and the taverns are.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes. That is where you'll find them.
Jade, you don't look so hot.
That's because it's nighttime. It's pretty cold.
Yes. Night makes it cold. Night makes it very, very cold. That's not why. Tavern. Right. Yes. Come this way.
Okay, continuing through the outskirts of the city here, you are finding that there's not a ton of houses, though the ones you're passing by are empty, though they do appear to have been lived in. There is some remnants of damage on some of them, not all. And when you are making your way from this suburb style, like this initial entrance of welcome to beautiful Greenshield, here's our quaint houses, before you get into the busier town, or the busier like small city proper here. In the portion of this outskirts town square, like a park, there is a tree, a very like a venerable one. It's been decorated. It has like people who've written stuff in chalk on it, and their hopes and dreams, things that are not too offensive for a tree. Chalk will wash off and whatever. Though you are seeing at the foot of the tree a broken circle of mushrooms, and there are many footprints or foot tracks that are almost akin to a single file line, breaking from the road and trudging through the grass, and they stop at the circle of mushrooms.
Okay, so all of the people in the town were probably mind controlled by the Fae and marched off to be turned into crystals.
Shit.
I think that's what fits the evidence, because everybody just packed up and left. There's not really signs of a fight or anything,
And this
and
is reminiscent
little
of the last
fairy
fairy
rings.
circle that we saw.
No.
The last fairy circle that we saw was in Sanam Phi.
yeah, it was where we fought Tezre over
Yes.
over nothing, as it turns
That
out.
one was broken too.
I remember it being broken. We just didn't really investigate it much.
Well, Jack said
But
it
it
was
was definitely there.
inactive.
It was inactive. The circle
Yeah.
was there. In this case, the mushrooms existed, but the mushrooms look like they've been kind of like crumbled, or the circle itself has been broken. But you're correct. The ones that were in that stockyard, it was a circle of mushrooms, but it appeared inert.
Jade, what do your magic eyes see?
I don't know. What do Jade's magic eyes see?
There is no magic present. Well, nothing that would be unsuspecting for your collection that you are growing.
I don't see anything.
Should I go grab Herbert?
I
Have him
think we're
sniff
okay
me?
for now.
Oh no, we're not.
Whatever was here, it's probably not here now. So I'm really for Jade's family right now.
No. No. Oh, no.
Jade, where would your
Jade?
family normally be?
No. I can't. No, don't. We don't go there. We don't go there. We don't go there.
I mean, if you
Even
want to
if they're in
stay
danger
here,
right now.
we can go check, and you can stay with Brayson.
You don't have to see them if you don't want to. Or you could even turn invisible. I know that's a thing you can do.
Or change your appearance. I know you can do that too.
Who would I be then? Who am I supposed to be? Who am I supposed to be now? What's the role? What's the gear? What's the gear? Where?
I don't know. I don't think we know yet. Maybe we should try to get closer. I know who.
Stillwaters.
I think you should.
Stillwaters. Stillwaters.
What's her family name?
Norlai, I was presuming that you were walking with Brayson and all as you're continuing to make your way through this area.
I am still calling out for the kitty.
The cat responds and comes around from behindish the tree. I mean, the tree's massive, so there's the front and there's everything else that you wouldn't be able to see. But it appears to be looking around, sniffing, and it starts kind of like pawing at the broken mushrooms of the circle, and just kind of meow.
Is it itself magic?
No.
Okay.
Meow. Come here, kitty. We can help you.
The master got taken away. That's what happened.
I think this is a time when I could maybe help Norlai because I have
You can speak with animals.
to help her by speaking with the kitty and asking the kitty, just telling the kitty that Norlai is safe and really wants to be his or her friend. Take good care of you.
Meow.
It's true. Norlai loves animals and also plants, and as long as you don't eat her chicken or any of her other pets, she will make sure that you always have food, and she will take care of you and keep you safe.
Mm-hmm. Meow.
It's a pretty good deal.
It looks down. It kind of baps at one of the mushrooms. Looks up. I mean, it really is looking up at you here. Looks over.
Do you think you can ask it what's going on?
I mean, it's not really speak with animals. It's really just kind of, communicating small ideas. Probably not.
Norlai, you suddenly smell a fragrance.
That's new.
And short time later, the cat it's looking at you, Bright, and it's not running away. It's kind of interacting. Goes and it wants to sort of like paw at one of your floofs. It stops, sniffs the air, and it starts walking. It starts walking over towards Norlai.
Hey, kitty.
Okay.
You must be scared. Very lonely out here.
Norlai, it's approaching you, and it jumps past you and climbs up the saddlebags of Brayson and
Oh,
is
you already know where to.
now sort of rubbing against Herbert's stalk.
Herbert, be nice. Herbert smell like catnip?
It's never had a smell before.
We found out what Herbert is made of.
Oh, he didn't, because the bees didn't like him. Herbert, you lied to me. You could have
Oh, that
attracted
just means
bees.
he's not made of bee nip.
Oh, I didn't know bee nip.
Let's see if she picks this up. Okay. No, nothing changes from the description I gave.
Satisfied?
What's that?
Satisfied, Norlac? You have a cat now.
Yeah. I just hope he doesn't knock over Herbert.
Like the animal whisperer.
Yeah. I mean, I did make sure Herbert was secure because, when Brayson movies, he kind of goes up and down a bit. But, we'll kind of slower. So I make sure he's really secure.
All right.
Now we can find out what these mushrooms are all about.
Broken fairy circle. That's what that's about.
Well, you know what I mean. We can, what to do with it.
I mean, it's broken. It means that the connection's lost now.
Well,
You closed the door after them.
Well,
If more houses are like the ones that we found, then I don't.
The city
the town
proper's
as a
ahead.
whole is in danger.
You can see larger buildings. That are kind of up in treetops. A lot of light. It would just be a walk. You will have to cross a bridge, but you do cross a bridge, and you'll go from the more rural, close by suburb area into Greenshield proper.
Then I think we need to find some people.
Yeah, I'm ready to go into the main city.
Okay.
we gotta check on Jade's fam. I know she doesn't want to, but we probably should do that.
Stop saying that.
Saying what?
That I don't want.
No, I get the feeling that you
Go ahead.
want to, but whether you can.
It's a little complicated. A little bit. But you want to talk to people. You want to talk to still waters. Big brothers always know what's going on. Except when they don't. When you can't let them.
It's gonna be okay. We're all in this together, right?
Stop blowing your nose, Mordecai.
What?
I
Well,
hear
he doesn't
you.
do that anymore.
I hear you.
You know how long it took him to get him to sneeze?
I see it. I see it, and we will go. We'll go and get your comforts and feathered beds. Come on, come. We need to go. We need to get to the bottom of this. Wheels need to be replaced, cast off and replaced. That's all we are.
I think we should find the Stillwater house. And, I mean, we just need to know if they're okay or not. We don't have to meet them. So
Yeah.
we'll just do a quick drive by and see how it looks. Maybe we don't even have to go that close. Maybe just Piggy Sue can go. And I mean, I have a cast it because I'm too tired from banishing that demon. But if I could, we could just send it in to look, and we wouldn't even have to go there at all. But it would have to wait for tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure that I could be sneaky about it.
Yeah, I mean, we have lots of choices. We just need to get moving. I would like to begin moving.
Right.
Okay. So out of this very quaint, if it weren't practical, it'd almost be a manufactured front to Greenshield here. There's a bridge that rises rather high above a gorge that has been carved out over time by a waterfall. And so unlike the bridge that you crossed before where it was pretty close to the waters running beneath it, this one is spanning up over a great tree that had toppled or was toppled and carved into a bridge that goes over a gorge. That does allow for foot traffic and wagon traffic as well.
Norla, you got any more of those haste spells in you?
So, Celine, I know you haven't been saying much, but do you happen to... I know that there's a spell where you can sometimes change the flow of water. I mean, it's a miracle that clerics always like to boast about, being able to, do things with water. And I'm wondering if you're able to do that.
Beep boop,
Be one
not
to have
today,
handy.
Bright. Beep boop.
Okay. Maybe she could do that tomorrow.
I have a speedy spell that.
If I can quickly get it across, then that should be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to speed up Mordecai?
Speedy spell.
Okay, roll a d20, please. Okay.
And
No
I use
fun.
all actions to move across.
And you do so with all due haste, as haste was duly cast upon you. With the height above the gorge, as the waterfall is falling down and going over, you do get that slightly queasy feeling that I was describing from being on the island, which was solid land, but it was surrounded very closely by running water. With maybe the height, or you're just getting stronger, or something, you do get that kind of queasy feeling, that vulnerable feeling, but you do not take the damage from crossing this water from this height or under these conditions at your level, or however you want to magically winnow down through scientific method.
How high is it again?
You're about
Can I jerk that?
you're about 80 feet above, because the gorge has been
Above the water.
yeah.
Okay.
So
now-
remember, we're still kind of by mountainous area here. There is running water, but there's a lot of forest that's growing up around it. And so this gorge entering into Greenshield it has gone down into the earth. So, and you're also rising up on a tree that's been kind of carved out to be this fancy bridge. So, you, at least from 80-ish feet up, you might get a tingle, but it's not mechanically anything more detrimental than, I don't know, if Jade accidentally cast a Eldritch Blast at you and then you got vulnerable from it. So
Okay. So that's
Use
really
all my
good to know,
actions get across.
because like if I give you the fly spell, maybe if you flew up, 80 feet, you could fly a lot higher than that. You could fly like a mile up if you had to. So,
Oh no.
as long as I don't,
no.
as long as I don't lose concentration while you're a mile up, it should be pretty safe for you.
I feather fall, so I can save you if you do fall.
Nope. Hides is not a thing.
Do I still have counterspell?
Mordecai's trying to escape.
Well, it's just a way we can cross water if we need to.
That's true.
Right.
And still have
What's 2 times 17 divided by 8.7652? From concentration. I'll catch him! Counterspell.
Yeah.
I got
What did you
him.
say? What were the numbers? 'Cause, I mean, it's about 3.9, but I didn't hear what you said, so I'm not by 8.1.
To be fair, that would probably be one of the best told character or PC versus PC deaths ever. I was killed by math.
I think
Greenshield.
if you include dice, a lot of people get killed by math.
Yeah.
No, they get killed by RNGesus. RNGesus is killed more dreams than anything else.
Oh no.
There are roleplay opportunities. So ahead of you is Greenshield, this the city, the small city. It is surrounded by a wooden wall, but one that's not just frontier times forts. Kind of look like pencil sharpened logs stuck into the ground, kind of a thing. There is a wall that has been beautifully decorated and grown, almost to the point where perhaps the trees have even like merged or fused together at some points. So it's almost like a continuous segment. And then all kinds of flowers and other things have grown into it and through it. There are some wood carvings and other things. There are. It's a beautiful approach, especially with the glowing of the city that's ahead of you. And there is a rather sizable group of people who are leaving the gates from this direction that you're traveling. And they're on wagons. They do have some torches. And they're approaching the bridge as you're leaving the bridge.
I want to stop them.
That's fine because they want to stop you.
Okay, we're all stopped.
We are.
At that point, Jade is casting a spell.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, you shimmer in the moonlight, like almost like someone disturbed a pond, with the moon, and it just ripples down, and you turn invisible.
Jade is even invisible, is making a point of hiding her face.
So I go up to the leader of the caravan.
Caravan is maybe very generous, if not inaccurate here. You do have a bunch of burly humans and tieflings, for the most part, who are riding out here, and they stop. Have you come from the suburbs? We've received some disturbing news.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's gone.
Damn.
What's going on?
I don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. There have been attacks. There have been something, but the person you're talking to looks back and gives a little bit of a nod, and someone casts something, and there's kind of a magic in the air here, and
no need, friends.
You all seem to be fine. We're going to continue on, find out what we can. If you have any idea what happened, go report it. We need to figure out what happened to these people.
Where are you going?
We're going the way you apparently came.
I'm very confused.
It's at this point Mordecai would end up getting a question in his head in a familiar voice. Who do you report to? Who?
Who do we report to?
Go talk to the constables of the town.
Their name?
I'll call it like a sheriff's name of the area. You'll be given one. How about that? Wink. You'll be given the address of the constabulatory of Greenshield, and if you know anything that has happened to these people, please report it to the authorities.
I mean, we just came into town and just saw that everyone looked like they dropped what they were doing and left. Doors were thrown off of buildings. that kind of a thing.
What? That's Mrs. Tanmeyer's cat. What are you doing with it?
It was by the tree, and well, it was in the house, and it ran out. And then we found it because I thought it would get lost. And then it was by the tree, and then it really likes my plant herb.
He looks over to the person.
She definitely has a way with animals.
And the person just sort of gives a bit of a shrug. Whatever, I don't have time for that. You're not clearly an insidious group. Anyway.
No.
They go galloping off in their wagons with their horses across the bridge to go to this like quaint outskirts, like this front of Greenshield.
That was odd.
I guess I'll have to give the kitty back when the owner comes back.
I mean, if we find her or his, I'm not sure which it is. It's hard to tell sometimes with cats. If we find the cat's actual owner, though, I mean,
I'll give it back. I'm not evil.
Oh, what was that?
I'm just going to say that right now, Bright's mind is overwhelmed with commentary that's so fast and with so many different voices and so many double-think directions to that comment that it's just completely nonsensical. Suffice it to say, Jade might be, for lack of a better term, triggered by the "I'm not evil."
All right, so you all have entered into Greenshield, which is a lot more nighttime-y looking than what you're seeing. But you can see that there's a great fall that's pouring out of the mountains. There's all sorts of trees around. A lot of the houses, and not even just houses, like even something like an apartment complex.
it looks a lot like
Looks a lot like Stacked It All.
Any port in a storm. Though the streets are winding, there's stairs and ramps everywhere. Water's flowing through the town. There are all sorts of lanterns and lights, things made of paper and wood. And stone is there because you are at the foot of the mountain. But I think you're getting the idea of where you're at. Now you have options. You could go report something to someone. You could find a tumbled wench. You could go and talk. You could try and find Jade's family. You could just keep passing through and say, "Yeah, we're done with this place." What would you like to do? You have options.
Well, it seems like whatever happened was just in the suburbs, so Jade's family is probably okay. I mean, usually the wealthiest people live inside the city walls, so I bet her family's okay. So that's good news. We still try to find a tumbled wench if we can.
Sure. Okay.
Since Jade is invisible, you can assume that she is with you. You can assume that.
Making your way through, there is in fact a tumbled wench that is built into and on top of a great tree. Original idea, don't steal. We'll just call them, I don't know, Valenwood or Valor Woods or something like that. But no, this one has a very natural aesthetic. Everything is made of wood, and maybe not all of it is even dead and nailed together. It is what you would expect to be a tumbled wench in the flavor of Greenshield. Even at this late hour, it's probably about 10 p.m. or so now.
I wonder if they have pancakes here.
They may. You will find out shortly. There is warm light. There's conversation and laughing and music coming from the inside of this tumbled wench. People are coming and going, and well, you might want to put Brayson up somewhere. There is a stable at the base of the tree.
I'm gonna go ask about that.
Very well.
I'll come with.
Stabling Brayson will cost 1 silver per day.
All right. And rooms.
Rooms are going to be 2 silver per day, and you get a meal included.
All right.
We have to pay for our own stuff now.
How many rooms are we getting?
I don't mind sharing a room. I don't take up much space.
I'm used to sharing rooms.
Jade.
He's invisible.
She's invisible. Celine
There's
says
only
that.
4 of
There,
us.
Celine's
there's
fine.
also the assumption that she's there.
There's that too. Yeah. Celine is fine. Is fine getting a room, so you all can get super cozy and get one, or there's 2, but you can't have adjoining rooms. It's almost a full house, and so one of you can be on the 4th floor, and the other ones of you could be on the 2nd floor.
All right. Well, we could all, well, depending on how big the rooms are, could all bunk in the same room.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
If you do want like a suite that has like kind of some bedrooms in a central area, you could go in on a suite and pay 2 gold per day, and that does include 1 big room and meals.
I'm okay if we're just packed in.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna ask the innkeeper if a performance tonight would actually help lower that price.
Well, we already have a group performing. I suppose it couldn't hurt. I can't say it'll lower the price, but if people are being generous, we are getting pretty late in the evening. People are satisfied. They've had meals. They've had drinks. Depending on what you do, I wouldn't mind. The band's really capable, but I've heard them before.
Well, I am a little bit of an acrobat and a juggler. So if that's not on the docket tonight, then that's certainly available.
You can watch them. I think they're on stage for about another hour or so. That's usually when we wind down. But if you keep things spicy, and I can serve more drinks and I can serve more meals, people want to linger. Well, I'm sure you can get something for that.
All right, then we'll take 1 room and boarding for our donkey.
All right then, 3 silver.
All right.
That's a generous price. And while the quality of the tumbled wench is everything that you'd expect, the price has been lowered a little bit lately because just things have been a little slow. It's
How so?
well, I don't know. Maybe the forest just is having some difficulty waking up from winter here this spring, but I don't know. Things have just not been quite the way that they used to. And so it's less people are here, and I don't know. I've been even getting some strange complaints from folks in this inn that, you know, the wood itself, because we're built into this great tree. I don't know, just the things feel a little damp and spongy, or there might be little patches of mold, and that'd be a real shame. We take good care of this tree, and I sure hope it's not getting sick. But because of that, we want to be as attractive as possible and show people, no, we run a good place, and so here you go.
Of course. Do you happen to know why people would be? I don't know if news has reached you yet, but why the outskirts of town seems to be kind of abandoned?
Abandoned? Oh, I haven't heard anything's been abandoned, but I know that there's been some sort of trouble. I don't know if it was. They don't really have a lot of money there. It's all more for show. You know, quaint folk, sort of like holdovers, like the first settlers. You know, living out in the country, just out in quote. And he says like quote unquote in the country, outside the main city walls. I haven't heard anyone disappearing, but I know that things have gotten a little rowdy. There's been some sort of attacks, or people are breaking stuff. You know, by windows and doors and roofs. It's just no. It's just one more thing, right? We just want to live quietly here.
Understandably so. That's very odd. What kind of attacks by what kind of creatures?
I don't know if it's creatures. I just think it's vandals. It's just it's like they exist just to put holes in the walls or in the roofs or whatever. It's never been anything too big, unless, well, you consider a hole in your roof kind of big.
Kind of a big issue. The rains here get pretty bad.
And not so much when you're under the canopy, actually.
Mesomascan weather.
Well, yeah. Plus, well, I don't know if you've been through here, but the great branches of the canopy, we've kind of carved them out to almost act as aqueducts. So, you know, all the leaves and stuff are kind of, over time, they've been groomed to funnel a bunch of water, and it all just goes slish-slosh through the place. Running water everywhere. Oh, you can't go you can't take 2 steps without a drop of it. Rain, mountain water, as pure and fresh as you'd like. Makes for some very good teas and ales and other things too.
We'll definitely have to sample some of that.
And don't you worry, those aqueducts, there may be running water through it, but I don't think if you travel under them, it'll get a drip on your head.
All right.
Now, do you want to be on the 2nd floor or the 4th floor?
No, we'll go 2nd floor.
All right, here's your key.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a pleasure
Since
doing
been climbing
business
all
with you.
those stairs. All right, I shall be back in about an hour to see if we can liven up this crowd a little bit more.
That'd be nice. We'd love the income.
All right, so I lead everybody up to the 2nd floor room.
Okay. There you are. You're on the 2nd floor. It has a decent enough view. Now, when I say like there's you could get a 4th floor. It goes even higher than that. Not that we're talking a skyscraper, but there's a few rooms that are built on the outside of a very tall tree, and so there are multiple floors. Not because every floor has 100 rooms on it or something, but because when you're built mostly on the outside of a tree that grows very tall, really you can only go up.
Right.
Well, it's better to be lower down. Number 1, in case something happens and you have to jump out the window, it's better to be lower. And also, number 2, sometimes people don't realize this until they lived in a tree, but the upper half of a tree actually sways back and forth quite a bit in the wind, and sometimes people get tree sick, which is like seasick.
Can't even imagine that.
So, this is better, for sure.
Yes. I like to keep my feet as close to the ground as possible.
I don't know, it was kind of fun when we all flew on brace. And
Possibly 6 feet under the ground. That was Jade talking.
Was it bright? Was it really? Or are you using that as an excuse just to say things on your mind?
Well, to be fair, Jade does have this tendency of putting ideas into people's heads.
Yes.
Quite literally,
Yeah.
as the case may be.
Jade, at this point, she seems to appear as though she's just looking out the window at this point, when that comment was made about swaying trees. And she speaks, still looking out the window, but speaking to Bright. You know, it was always said that one of the best things you could do to silence a crying child was to bring them up to the 7th floor. It would naturally rock the parents and the child to sleep on a soft summer's day.
I think that sounds like a... I'd say, and it's probably true.
You should see the view. It was something. It was something.
Did you see it?
Not for a long time. But now I have to end up waiting. They're out there somewhere. You think that they're fine, safe. That's not like him at all. Not at all. You don't know what kind of a man he was going to grow up to be. It was the hardest thing to take it from him. It's so hard. Mordecai, if you are to perform here, might I suggest that you not incur fire into your act?
I wasn't planning on it.
Good. I'd rather not repeat an incident.
I mean, I am a very skilled fire breather, but I would not do that in this particular establishment.
That's just what the last one said.
Okay.
No, all of that equipment is going to stay up here in the.
It's quite alright, but he was dragonborn, so...
Well, I mean, it's okay. If you do happen to start a fire, I can just put it out.
I mean, thaumaturgy does let me do that too.
Yeah, so there's lots of choices.
Except a lot of booze. Lots and copious amounts of booze. That's...
Oh, speaking of, I'll take another sip of cider, please.
I'll take a. I'll take
I
another
think the
glass.
bottle's probably almost in.
It's like a 2-gallon thing.
Mordecai. Under the bed.
That's odd.
Jade immediately just kind of walks over to the bed and tilts her head. And it's that awkward bit where the spine bends to a full 180.
Are you still
You know,
invisible?
the body doesn't bend like that, but she bends sideways to check under the bed, and then just...
I'm gonna go towards the door.
I'd like to just open the door and let Peggy Sue fly out, and maybe she can hear what they're talking about.
That's
Okay.
a better idea.
So you let Peggy Sue out, who's gonna sort of recon down the hallway. Jade, you find underneath the bed where it is, there not a ton of air gets down there. It's definitely dark, and with the wood and such, it's somewhat damp. There's about a fist-sized puffball mushroom underneath the bed.
I believe that's a knowledge nature, correct?
Yes. Go ahead and give me a nature.
Not terrible.
Hoping for hallucinogens, hoping for hallucinogens, hoping for hallucinogens.
Oh no,
So-
more drugs.
This one is not known to be medicinal or poisonous, or in this case, a mix of the two, and you get a nice hallucinatory or hallucinogenic mushroom. But this is a mushroom. They are known to grow in the area, but maybe similar to what there was said to well, I don't know if you're around for Mordecai again. You could be looking at whatever. But there does seem to be a mushroom growing underneath your bed, where it is cool and warm and out of the way. And now these are known to get really big, though. Like, if you let this grow, it could be the size of like a cat curled up.
And I'm assuming it's not magical in nature?
This actually does have a faint glow of divination magic to it.
Without speaking, Jade speaks to everybody at this point. That little voice in the mind. The Fae are here. They're listening. They're listening in the rooms. The fungus listens for them and takes the knowledge down to the waters, into the writing.
Maybe we shouldn't have fungus among us then.
Norali's feeling all proud of herself in this serious moment. You're just getting stares by everyone else.
Everyone just looks at Darla.
This is not the time to be happy and grow your character. Come on.
And people give me problems for dad jokes.
Hey, I loved dad jokes.
Oh, Mom.
So, obviously we need to get rid of the mushroom. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if we get rid of the mushroom, they'll know. So,
Why are you
It's
speaking?
fair, right?
Little voice in your head. Why are you thinking this aloud?
Jade, we can't talk like you.
that
Yes.
Should we discuss this outside?
Perhaps we shouldn't discuss this with the fungus among us.
I could put Herbert next to it and see if he reacts to it.
Do that.
You just kind of slide Herbert under the bed. Good boy.
And the mushroom is gone.
Is Herbert now magical? Does he now write the divination magic?
Well, there is there is a cloud of spores that kind of poofs up from the nom, and Herbert is glowing magical, though in a way that isn't easily categorized by a school of magic. He has kind of a shifting, like the skin of a bubble, color about him.
Ah, enhancement in necromancy. Got it.
Oh, I mean, does Herbert always look like that?
Is this what Jade is thinking, or have you communicated what you saw?
Yeah,
It would-
I guess I don't know.
Now, Jade is looking at Herbert and looking about and starts to just observe. And from this point on, you can pretty much assume that she is using this sight. Reality, I just kind of mechanically, or use that as a mechanic to just see that Jade has foreknowledge of something that she really shouldn't have foreknowledge of. And everybody's just treating it as though, oh yeah, she sees things. Not quite. She just happens to know something before it's...
Jade, then make an Arcana or an Investigation. Your choice, if it matters.
No idea.
Yeah, there's no real rhyme or reason that you can determine right now, though Herbert hasn't always scintillated like this when you put your whatever predator filter sight on.
It's at this point Jade will end up looking to the others. Again, just speaking in that internal voice. Infiltration. Capture. Conversion. Information down the river and its people with it. Greenshield is next.
Well, does anyone else want a drink?
Well, look at the time. About ready I go and perform.
Is that?
Yeah, I've been having some cider. It's pretty good. They almost all gone.
Well, since you will have to end up doing that, Jade goes to the window, unlocks it, and sits herself on the windowsill with her back to it, looking at you. I will do what I can. Enjoy yourself, City Greenshield. It won't protect you for long. Look, observe, have fun, and enjoy the night in your own performance, Mordecai. Goodbye. And she just seems to fall out the window.
I run to the window.
She is gone. She's gone.
Oh. Well, I can't see you, so how do I cast?
It's a good question.
Oh, no.
That's
What?
so.
When you start combining effects, you can do some really creepy narrative stuff.
All right, so yeah, Mordecai, you dash. You're holding yourself on the windowsill, your arms out there. Norlai, you start preparing your little magical girl, whatever, finger ninja, whatever, however you cast magic. And
Never-
Jade just sort of like scuba rolls off the back of the window ledge. Now, fortunately, this is only 2 floors up, so if Bright's correct, then better that than 4, correct? But yeah, Jade is out of sight.
Right. He probably doesn't have enough spell slots for that, but it's a pretty cool effect.
Well, all you need is a spider climb to catch yourself halfway, let go, and use invisibility to end up landing the last bit safely.
Yeah.
And you've disappeared. You're the one who gave me the second floor. You didn't think I was going to use it?
Oh, I thought you would use it. Just you already used your invisibility once.
Quite some time ago, and we've been resting for the past, what do we figure, 15, 20 minutes, Matty?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna speak about it. It's just,
It's fine.
cool. Is all. Okay, so
What was that?
it's just Jade. I mean, it's hard for her. Sure. So, I mean, maybe she has places to go. She might have some unfinished business here from before. I'm sure she'll be back. She wouldn't. I mean, even before when she left us, she always comes back. We are home for her, but I don't know if she can just go back and be with her family again. So, my guess is we'll see her again, but we might not see her until tomorrow.
I can't exactly get a message to her without until tomorrow anyway.
Noted. All right, so with you all here, you can rest. You can go down and purchase food off the menu. Doing so, I'm sure Mordecai would appreciate that, because you'd be sort of buying food during his performance, which was a good thing.
Kind of what we wanted. Yeah.
But if you don't have a lot of money or whatever, though Mordecai, the band sounds like they're going to be going into their final set here soon. You can just barely hear them playing. You're on the 2nd floor. If it was the 4th, then I'd say no. So it sounds like they're going out there. People are kind of chanting one more. So they're probably in their encore, and you'll be up on stage soon if you wanted to go down and keep people from filing out.
Yep. I'm gonna take my violin down and I don't know, just some random bits that I can juggle if I wanted to.
Okay.
So I want to find out if Peggy Sue learned anything from the people who walked by, and just detect magic, which is going to take me 10 minutes. And then I'm going to go up and down the halls and see if other people's eating.
Okay. Does detect magic go through doors and walls? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was just things that you can perceive.
You know, it doesn't say that it does, actually. It says, okay, of magic within 30 feet of you, but you can only see what's radiating if you can see the object.
Okay. Yeah, it says it can penetrate most barriers. It's blocked by a foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. Well, so the walls here, I mean, there might be spots where it's kind of thickened, but I think 3 feet of wood is you're going to be able to detect through that. And so you're taking your time doing that. Peggy Sue tells you that she discovered that it seems like people who are finding these mushrooms are taking them to the kitchen, and the kitchen's just preparing them as a way to, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's a mushroom. They're special. We're gonna cook them up and hey, you found it. Thank you for staying here.
So I would strongly recommend that we don't eat the food here.
And you are detecting as you're strolling through.
The mushrooms.
Every room is it has a divination, a little ping of divination that you can sense but not see. And in a couple of the out-of-way places, like you're going past you're going by a stairwell, and you're getting that feeling. You can't see it, but you're picking it up. So all these mushrooms are probably growing in the dark corners, the places where people don't really look or go, or it's cool, damp, really undisturbed kind of a thing.
Okay. Poopy is turning out to be not very safe. I'm not happy here. And that's too bad, because I like the way it's built, and normally I'd be happy here.
So we all gathered downstairs now?
I mean,
Yeah.
I was just kind of off on my own, but I would definitely see Mordecai's performance.
Okay.
And I would definitely stop him if I saw him trying to eat anything. And I would also tell Norlai that I would recommend not eating the food here. And also Celine, because she's here too, even though she's not here.
Beep boop. Your request has been noted. Beep boop.
I'm afraid I'm disinclined to acquiesce in your request. Means no.
So Celine Bot will go downstairs to engage in appropriate social protocol by watching Mordecai manipulate sound through the air, and beep boop. Norlai, are you staying up in the room? Or are you going down? It is kind of late. I don't know if you have a self-imposed bedtime or something. You go down too? All right. Okay, so everyone except Jade, or I guess we could even include the possibility of Jade. So just like anything can possibly be a gnome, Jade could possibly be anywhere. So there's that.
Yep.
And it's like one of the first memes getting around was about Jeff Goldblum. We can replace Jeff Goldblum with Jade, if you get the reference. So now it is about time. The crew on stage is getting ready. Like they're starting to pack stuff up, and people are calling over the poor waitresses who are bringing bills or last rounds of drinks. Seems like people are starting to get up and they're wanting to shuffle out. Mordecai, what do?
I a violin case and play a flourish on my violin to get people.
Okay, so while the stage is still occupied, you want to you're walking down to the dining area and you just want to start performing there.
Yeah, just kind of between the tables.
Sure. Okay, so you'll go through and you start performing some music on your violin. Are you doing anything else? What else are you incorporating into this act, if anything?
Maybe using thaumaturgy to kind of change the light color appropriately.
How high is the ceiling in the common room?
Oh, it'll be generous. We'll say it's like 25 feet high. Yeah.
Okay, then in that case, just as he gets to the grand finale of his performance, up Or maybe I'll use Piggy Soup for this. Cast.
Okay, we'll get there. I want to get some rolls out of Mordecai first, as we're kind of winding things up for this session anyway. So Mordecai, let's go into a little bit of a skill challenge. As you're here, you want to try and get people's attention. Like, don't leave. There's more to the show. And you.
Thaumaturgy and dancing lights are going off.
Okay, so you're casting these. You're playing the violin. Go ahead and I want you to roll at first a persuasion. In order to get the attention and to convince people. A moment of your time, everyone, please, before you get into the performance proper. Ooh, 20, nice. With advantage, not that it was at advantage, but the 24 is cool too. So people are getting up and you bring your stuff down, and this is the time. People are just thinking about changing their minds, and this is when you strike. And so you get the violin out and you start into you go through, like, this is the classic build up to it's like a Disney dance and song routine where you go up to someone and you give them that, oh, but wait, there's more, and then you rhyme with another person and you flit on over to another table, and if you thought that was good, and there's more to come, and you're going around and you're asking people to give you this opportunity. You're getting eyeballs, and with that 20, I gotta wait for my drink anyway, or I've been asking for my bill for so long, I should just get up and leave. And then you give like always stick around and pay your bills, or some other cautionary tale that could lead into your performance. And so you have some people now that it is late. They should be home. They should be paying their bills. We're gonna start off a little bit rough. You have their attention. I want you to make a performance at disadvantage, and we'll see what happens. As you, all right. So either a 16 or a 20. So even with the 16, people's opinions are okay, maybe. Like, one person gets up and is like, oh, I hope you do well, but I really got to get going. My wife will bite my head off if I don't. And so, like, one person leaves, you're getting people to stick around, and you start with the flourish, and some others are sitting down, kind of sipping. Maybe they have those, like, light, I don't know if ice cubes are prevalent, but you kind of get the ice cubes, you're swirling. They're eating one ice cube at a time, kind of dragging their feet.
Also, a little acrobatics going into it too.
Okay, so you're trying to get people livened up. Go ahead and now give me just a straight up performance.
Oh.
Okay, so now with an 11, you're singing, you're jigging and jiving.
$2 to give Mordecai adverb on his performance.
Oh, well then, a fickle god has just interceded, and you start out and you go for like a fun little dip, a dip back, and for a moment you're about ready to hit that like an off chord, and that would have been your 11. However, with super colliders here, being a fickle god, as you right yourself. So, like, you're dip back, you almost, like, dip too far, and you're about ready to hit the wrong thing, but then you slam your foot down, power chord on the violin, as you're forward, and you start going to town, and so it was like a kind of a rough. Everyone's like, and now you have everyone's attention, with this power violin move, slash, like, kind of headbang stomp, thing that you're doing. Yeah, Super Collider says sniped. Yeah, it has sniped advantage on your roll there. So thanks, Super Colliders, for that. But so it plays in. You even surprised yourself. You're like, oh wow, as the performer, I'm really meeting or surpassing what I thought I could do. And so now that caught everyone's attention. Some people are leaning forward. You're hearing like, I'll take another drink, or I'll pay my bill. Just go serve that other person a drink. and you can continue performing. You have this violin. You're doing some acrobatics. Are you weaving anything else into it now that you're getting more people leaning forward and watching this late night song and dance?
I'm just using thaumaturgy to make sure that the whole room can hear.
Okay.
And dancing lights to kind of be like a lighting effect.
All right. So you're going through, and the lights.
Changing colors.
Yeah, the candles and the lanterns are going like green and blue and red and gray. I don't know, but it's magic. Whatever. You can make gray light. And so people are really kind of getting into this. Mordecai, you're the center of attention. Even the other band members, because you kind of had to put a step on things if you wanted to capture the audience while they're still here. The band members are up on stage, and they're like, yeah, that's pretty cool. They're still kind of occupying it, but you can hop up on stage and have a little bit of room. Would you like to try and do you want to continue performing yourself, or would you like to try and convince them to provide some background noise to accompany? Because they started putting away their stuff, but they might be able to join in here.
I just give them a wink and continue playing. Let them interpret that how they want.
Okay, so this is kind of like a Marty McFly in Back to the Future here, where he goes up to the 50s prom band and just tells them, I need like a whatever in B, or I forget the line, but sure. You give them like a quick tempo chord, just and then try and catch up. You plug in your electric guitar and you're gonna start singing Johnny Be Good here, because you know what, you pretty much are way up in the forest in the evergreens. So go ahead and make a persuasion. A persuasion can work here in order to convey, or I will allow for an insight. Though we're going to say this is more a projection, like a wink and a nod of insight to make sure that you're read without trying to be too obvious.
Persuasion will work.
Sure. Oh, a 9. All right. So the guys are like, yeah, we got this, and don't you worry, friend. And so they start getting some of their instruments out, and then go ahead and make a straight up performance. Ooh, 24, nice. All right, so you start going to town, and they're doing all kinds of weird stuff. Part of it sounds like what they were playing before, but someone else is just like is doing something maybe just completely experimental. It's so weird. Everyone is like, for a moment, you're playing a solid song, maybe something people know, and you get this weird like remix in the background, and they're not sure what to think here. And now it's time to, this continues. You're playing off of them, they're playing off of you. Pardon. It's time for your finale, and Bright wiggles her nose and her little her magical fingers here. And are you embiggening or are you debigulating?
Oh, I'm definitely embiggening. That's why I wanted to know how big the room was.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fluffy. It was Blues Riff and B. Watch me for changes and try to keep up. Yeah. So Mordecai. Apparently, the blues are common amongst tieflings, particularly because it was invented by the blue strain of your people.
Yeah, I mean, it's already blue. So.
Yep. And so now, you're larger than life. You're on stage. You have this weird. Maybe you're like inventing jazz or something. Which is clearly the music of the devil, because you are a tiefling and you're on stage. It's not a fiddle, but it's close enough. And so you are making the devil's music on stage with this sort of like violin jazz backup. Go ahead and make another performance at advantage. 27 is pretty darn good. And so Mordecai, you grow, and with that, the things that you hold, and so you are amplified. Your music reverberates, like you can see like water, kind of like, you know, with the stringing of your violin, water is shaking like a Tyrannosaurus Rex was approaching you, and you're in a Jurassic Park Jeep. And people just look and yeah, is what Jade was doing. People are showing the international friendship sign for tieflings, and they're being very agreeable with your music and just sort of keeping tempo with their heads, as they're being very like super like tiefling on tiefling. We're conversing, and they are just, yeah, we're with it, and your jazz backup band is absolutely going nuts, and you give a swirl. I want you to make acrobatics. As you are so into this, you might have to contain your tail swishes, as that is also larger than what you expect. Ooh, 27. All right. So yes, you responsibly swish your tail, Mordecai, because you should always responsibly swish your tail. And with a 27, even it's a part of your act where it's not just the music you're presenting, not just the lights. You know, your tail is in on it too, and people are like, whoa! You know, they're ducking as you're sending it out. You're dancing in a reel. It's spinning, and I don't know. You even do fun little. I don't know. You get to some cheeky lyrics, and you kind of brush the floof up the side of someone's cheek. Ooh my. Or does all kinds of fun stuff as you're bringing your tail in on this too, and oh my god, people are going nuts. The waitresses are looking at you, and they're just like, I should have been home an hour ago, but they should have been home an hour ago because they're having to continually bring out food and drink to people. People are pounding, money is flowing. And you're set. The manager does come up as you're back to the, like, okay, I want to do this next one for the set, and they're like, we should get going. You know, you're in it. Your heart doesn't beat, but darn it, it would be. And the manager's like, I'm sorry, but I really appreciate everything that you've done, but we have to pack up. It's already been 2 hours. Did you know that?
I lost track of time.
I think everyone here did, but I appreciate it, and I think that I think that you have a really good crowd here. I appreciate it, and I'll see what I can do. He keeps going. He's like repeating himself. He's looking around because people are everywhere. And some others from the outside even came in, and he dashes back, and people are coming up to you, Mordecai. That was great. Never heard anything like that before. You know, I'm a big fan of blues. He's it's a human, but he's talking in infernal. It'd be like the.
Can I have my violin case out for tips?
Yeah, that's fine. So you're collecting coins. And people are. You might even have a few a couple little semi-precious gems. Someone threw in a pair of undergarments. I don't know when that happened, but they're in there. But such is the life of a rock star. And so you will. Let's generate something here. Let's go to treasure. And we're going to generate some individual treasure for you, which isn't just a treasure hoard. Let's see. You are in the 5 to 10 group. So I'll tell you what, your fate will be in your hands here, Mordecai. Roll me a percentile, and let's see what you end up generating. I'll tell you what, you had such a strong finish. I'll give you advantage, quote unquote, on this. So you can roll twice, and if it's higher, then you can keep the higher. Or 54. Okay. So with that, I want you to roll 6d6.
66.
Okay. So everyone was just emptying their pockets and coming up to you. And in fact, you probably even have a couple waitresses who are so happy. I guess you live in a tipping society, so whether that's progress or going backwards, that's up to us as individuals. But even they were willing to share some of because you just kept the money flowing for them. You are going to have... yeah, whatever. You did an awesome job here. I'll treat this as an individual treasure parcel. At the end of the day, you are going to have 22 gold pieces plus roll 2d6 now.
2d6.
Okay, so... Okay, over the course of your 2-hour performance, you earned 88 gold pieces. Now, it was in various denominations, handfuls of copper, handfuls of silver, and, you know, again, you might even have an odd gemstone in there that would have been the equivalent. You know, so if there is like upwards of well, not probably not a 50 gold piece. There's gemstones. So yeah, if there's a couple 10 gold piece gemstones, you could swap those out for, you could have up to 3. So up to 30 gold pieces of gold, or pieces of gold could be exchanged for 3 10 gold piece gems of your choice. I'll leave that up to you. But people were just absolutely rocked. They're very generous. It was the end of the night. They're paying bills anyway. They came out to have a dinner, and it was just it was an amazing job that happened here with that big with that flourish at the end, and your violent case. You probably had to make some change up at the. You had to make some change up to the at the counter. Like, so what do I do with 112 copper pieces? Like, yeah, we got you covered. And they'll exchange the money for free. But in summary, that's what you get. If you want to treat the undergarments as a token from an admirer, as per the background of entertainer, you can do so. Or you could, I don't know, you could toss them or do whatever you'd like. And they could be of they could be of whoever you could imagine being in the audience. But someone was such a fan that you have a special token from an admirer. And but now everyone's like, oh, I'm so tired. We got to get out of here. And things rather quickly empty out because people should have been home hours ago. You know, tabs are paid and moods are high, and there we go.
There we go. I should entertain like this more often. Okay.
Okay. With, I guess, bedtime approaching, or unless you're not trusting to... Your room has been de-mushroomed, if that helps.
Yeah.
Not a mushroom.
So I want to, before we retire to bed, I would like to cast again, and see how Herbert looks. Like, is he still showing mushroom residue, or is he digested?
Oh, Herbert.
Herbert. So Herbert is faintly shimmering, like the skin of a bubble. So like different colors are kind of like flowing. Herbert has a couple of the mushroom spores over him because it was kind of a puffball that he just nommed on suddenly. You know, could divination show up in that bubble effect? Yeah, but it mixes around with a lot of other stuff. But it's a very faint glow over Herbert.
Okay, but it was faint to begin with. So does it look like it's subsiding, or is it still the same?
It looks the same. Yeah.
It's disappointing. Okay.
Well, Herbert might need to spend some time outside.
I can put him in the window.
But
As
if
long as he's...
I don't know, it's up to you guys.
Okay. So good about this room. Twitchy about hotel rooms. It's the recurring theme.
Last time you were twitching it,
Yeah, we don't
Doesn't
really
mean
know
anything,
that.
Morlai.
I'm just saying.
We're all very cautious for a reason.
Still.
Because technically, I'm not
So-
supposed to be here.
So the spores. No,
get
do we
the
have any
spores
like dusting equipment or anything we could use to sweep away the spores?
If I have a
you could
brush
order
in
room
my
service,
disguise
or you have some magic that might work.
I mean,
I mean, I don't suggest it, but we do have access to feathers. We could dust.
Yeah. I wasn't planning to use the whole chicken though.
I mean, you know, chickens just shed feathers naturally. I could have picked some.
What was this about us sacrificing Mordecai?
No, just like
Just pluck a flip,
feather.
pluck up feather.
Do you have enough feathers? Like, how many do you have?
I mean, you just really need like one.
Just like, woo.
Boy, that's a lot of work.
2 days. I would have had a few.
Maybe.
So, I'm going to go out into the hallway and look for something that looks like a janitor's closet.
You can eventually find one. It might not be right outside, but after wandering through the halls again, you can find a janitorial supply closet. It's labeled as such, but it is locked.
That's not really a problem for me. I assume it has a keyhole.
Yes.
Through the keyhole and Misty step through.
All right. Little Bright out her tiptoes looks through there, just it gets sucked in through the keyhole and remanifests on the other side of the closet door.
A professional at breaking and entering.
Yeah.
I
That
can
works.
dust
Without
It's
breaking.
really just entering, no breaking. That's the whole point.
All right, so you can grab some cleaning supplies and unlock it from the inside.
Okay. Great. I don't even have to Misty step back out. Okay, so I'm gonna take my cleaning supplies, conjure up Betty, which is gonna take 10 more minutes. We're never gonna get to bed. I'm getting so tired. Okay.
All this magic.
See, this is why I didn't like Snapfi. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. All right, so you summon Betty, your unseen servant. Provide the dustpan and all that, and the implements just seem to dance on their own in the grasp of this entity of Bright's.
Okay. Hopefully she can get that done in less than an hour. I really want to thank you, Betty. I know I haven't had much time to spend with you, and I know there was a long time when you were my only companion. So I know that you don't really feel things, but I'm still sorry that you're not getting as much attention from me as you used to. That's all. Now go. And also, it's alarm.
Okay.
to seal in the room before bed.
Sure. So some
And
magic
I
moves
only
and
want-
finger wiggles and
And I only want Mordecai, Lorelei, me, Celine, and Peggy Sue. I want it to go off if Jade comes in. Not because I'm afraid of her, I just want to know if she comes in.
Yep. Okay. All right. So if she does, a mental alarm alerts you with a ping in your mind if you're within 1 mile of the warded area. Oh wait, hang on. Oh, if you're within, okay, but yeah, you're setting it against choose a door, a window, or an area. Okay, so yeah, you didn't take the big
so it can take
suite,
up the whole-
so a 20-foot cube might not cover everything, but do you want to? Would you rather hit something like the bed and window, or do you want to hit something like the door with your 20? No, wait, 20-foot cube. Yeah, because
20 feet, I didn't think our room's much bigger than that. I figured that would cover it all.
Well, wait, hang on. Oh. Oh yeah,
I mean,
20
20 foot
no,
cube.
no, 20 by 20. I was not 3Ding properly in my noggin. No, you're good. That'll hit what you want it to hit. Yeah, you're
Okay,
fine.
so I just want the ring.
Yep, no problem. Okay. And then
Okay, I'm really tired from all these spells.
very well. You all can begin your rest. And
Just a mode of accounting. How many days rations do I have left in my bucket?
You
Or would
refilled
it be
it.
out by now? I refilled it 2 days ago.
With the bear blood.
It was the night before last. With the bear blood, yeah.
That was Celine or anyone keeping that under gentle repose or anything?
I
It
was using prestidigitation for
prestidigitation.
refrigeration.
Okay. It probably gets like a crusty scab on top from being exposed to air. You might have some left, but honestly, it's probably not the most appetizing blood.
It's time to get more.
You'll have to get more at some point in time from somewhere. There are animals that live in the woods. Presumably, there's a butcher place, if not several, for a small city like this. You can go from there.
That would probably be my option, is to go to the butcher shop, because I'm not going on a hunting mission for like a little bit at least.
Okay, then we will wrap things up here, and oh, this is why I love cats. Yeah. So thank you all for another amazing Tuesday. We had that nice little extra hour of fun, and we'll continue to do so at least for another 6 months. If we go that long, I don't know. Things are moving at an interesting pace. I remember fondly. I'm like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I kind of have a short story planned, kind of experimental. So thank you all for doing this, and here we are 6 months later. So I guess we'll see. But thank you all.
Also, I'm throwing 50 gold of what I earned into the party funds, by the way.
How generous.
We appreciate that.
I have a cat.
The cat has you. I corrected that for you.
Thank you.
That cat is glorious.